What if tomorrow you woke up and just like that, you had the body you've always dreamed of? Your health was on point, energy levels were high, and your confidence, through the roof. Completely Possible Fitness wants you to know that it's possible to change your life and make your dreams come true. We specialize in weight loss, muscle building, functional training, group exercise, and nutritional advice. Don't let another day go by not having exactly what you want. Contact Copo Fit and let us help transform your life. Copo Fit is on all social media, or you can email us at copofit@gmail.com. That's COPOFIT@gmail.com. Do you love drama as much as I do? Plot shifts and heart-pounding turns will keep you enthralled in the new book, Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Dana and Marshall are drawn to each other, but their flame has a tendency to burn and splinter all that once mattered, quite possibly even each other. Will they make it through the debris or become part of the ruins? Find out when you purchase your copy of Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Now available via Amazon Books and all Kindle devices. And it's free with Kindle Unlimited.
You're tuned in to SayWHA Radio with your hosts, Justin, Taz, and the other guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
SayWHA Radio. I'm going to just start with this one and just say headlines, see what you say. Baseball coach is suspended after he forced his players to spit in his face.
He lose damn job.
A Greek man was convicted of stealing electricity despite being dead. Yeah, convicted him after he died.
So he didn't do it before he died.
Yeah.
No, okay. What is that? Over.
It's me.
Say what? Say what one more goddamn time.
No questions. We gotta start. I'm a Skype you. No.
Nah. Okay. All right. It is Wednesday night, so you know what time it is. SayWHA Radio is coming at you guys. Got your girl Just here hanging with everyone, and I will start it to my right.
Marcos.
Dre T.
Taz.
Dre D.
And we're being...
Well, I wasn't last this time. You paused on me.
And we have the artist formerly known as Randy Jackson joining us via satellite.
That'll work. I'll take that.
Brother Jules is joining us as well. But, yeah. Well, no, he wants to change his name because we still
I don't have a nickname, so
you picked the
he's
youngest,
gonna make up
the youngest, least relevant Jackson out of all of them.
He trying to make him relevant.
No,
it's not.
Well, really, it should have been Randy Watson, but it's all right.
I'm just going through different ones. He wants to change it. Yeah.
Jackson Heights only, Randy Watson.
Randy Savage.
All right, so we're in the new year now, 2019. How's everybody's new year?
It's okay.
That's going good so far.
Not much has changed yet.
Yeah,
we don't really. Just at that point right now where you gotta remember to draw a 9 instead of an 8.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, still at that point. Yeah.
I know you remember when we was in school, we had the hedge of paper. That first week back, everybody just had
all wrong.
Just scratching out the whatever the previous year was. So.
And then I guess with technology being how it is now, it's so much easier to forget now.
Yeah.
Because I have to approve a lot of stuff, so I'm approving strong and wrong. So they're it's 2019. I'm like, what is it?
Is it really? Is that how that works?
19 right now.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Did y'all do any resolutions?
No.
Yeah, I should make a resolution.
My resolution was to not have any resolutions.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like my thing is, I always feel like no point in waiting until the new year.
Right.
Like if you really want to change something, just
Change
do
it.
it.
You ain't gotta
Okay,
wait.
Y'all saying all that, and then I was gonna be like, okay, we want to start something new here for the show, and
Then we just do it. It ain't for the
But
new
that's-
year. It's just because we want it done.
We just want to do something new.
Yeah.
9/9/2000.
That's a 2000.
Matter of fact,
fun.
matter of fact, if you started early enough, then you kind of have a head start going into the new year.
pretty much.
And then you're more likely to stick with it.
Yeah.
Starting it on January 1st, like, okay, I'm going to do this starting first. You probably ain't going to stick with it past
The 5th. I done seen resolutions in 15 minutes into the new year. I ain't gonna cuss no more. Fuck y'all. What? Where they do that at?
Yeah, like, and it's funny. I mean, of course, I went to him this week. Man,
Oh,
a
my
lot
God.
of people in there.
Oh yeah, you know, till March. It's gonna
Yeah,
be packed.
it's just super packed.
March?
People
said
on
February.
the machine. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it'll by MLK Day.
They'll be gone.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You're giving them good 20.
And I don't know why I forgot, because I'm like, man, it ain't no machines open right now. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the first week.
So the real gym people need to have themselves together. And be like, I ain't going this week.
Pretty much.
It's a vacation time for the.
Yeah.
Cause man, like it was super packed, and I couldn't find parking. I'm like, man, what is going on? Then it just registered in my head. I was like, oh yes, a lot of new people.
And then the ironic part is, half the people that's going to drop out, they're going to say, oh man, I stopped going because it was always too packed in the gym.
You are so right.
It was y'all.
Y'all were the ones taking
You
that
are
shit.
so right.
The regulars, we got our schedule. We know what we do.
Yeah.
Y'all the ones that mess.
We gonna adjust.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, we're gonna have some stuff coming on SayWHA Radio. I mentioned actually last show. Also want to send our condolences out Star with finance here on the SayWHA Radio Network. She actually lost her father on the last day of 2018. So heartfelt condolences and sorrows out her and her family. But yeah, there will be some new stuff that'll actually be coming out for SayWHA Radio. We're gonna try some. That's one thing that we've always done on here. The format has usually changed because when we first started out, it was just us talking for the most part, and it was just mainly women, and we got the old angry bitches stuff every
Except
week.
me, not me.
Oh, my
Everybody
goodness.
loved Taz.
Yeah, every week. It didn't matter.
They were afraid of that.
Everybody loved Taz.
Well, no, because Taz was actually different then. Taz hadn't actually got into everything at that point.
She wasn't Taz.
Well, no, she was still Taz, just nobody knew. It's just, and that's the way it's been in the 20 plus years of our friendship. Nobody knew. So
what you're saying is she was using her advertising voice.
yeah. Always. But yeah, we'll have some new stuff coming, and as always, check out the stuff in the SayWHA Radio shop, which is shop.saywharadio.com. I mean, that got cleaned out for Christmas. That was actually kind of nice. Thank you for you.
That's the best
Oh,
kind.
wait,
Yeah.
we were just discussing gyms and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and get you some what the hell?
Mary.
Get you some SayWHA shorts.
Oh yeah, she ain't that.
SayWHA
Oh,
Radio.
no. Okay. Not
Yeah.
the shit.
Say what compression pants and tights.
Actually, yes. There's some.
Because
tights
I
in there.
don't see you wearing regular pants anymore. Literally,
There's no-
every time I see her, she has
Yeah.
some compression
Watch
pants.
it,
Unless you're secretly a superhero and you're just like trying to let us know, like,
yeah.
I think I've been doing that for a while now.
Right.
Or is she trying to throw you off?
yeah.
But yeah, it's SayWHA Radio tights, Beast Mode tights, shirts, all kind of stuff, and a few shirts from Marvel and DC and things like that. It's actually pretty nice. Go ahead and check it out. So let's get into the headlines. Bum, ba, da, bum.
That's not how it goes at all.
So for the
Do it if you want to.
Okay.
Y'all want to hate on the headline?
I
music?
mean, it's been 10 years.
I wasn't.
We're at year 7 or something. I don't know what
I was
you
thinking
said.
about it.
It's actually been 30 years since that song came out.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my
Come
God.
on, y'all.
Oh, you want to slide in at the very last minute?
Terrible. Just say he
That's what she said.
Anyway.
This is not a gangbang.
Anyways, all right. So we got Johnny comes in and someone I'm snoo my ass. All right. So, as we were talking about earlier with the new year and everything, one of the things that I guess when ringing in the new year, you want to make sure that you're in the right place, the right frame of mind. And according to some, not at a Tiffany Haddish show.
Oh.
You like that SayWHA, Jules?
I was like,
it was so unexpected. Very professional, I believe. Good job. Proud of you.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I don't know why immediately my T's favorite headline came into my mind, the daylight savings for whatever reason just popped into my mind. I'm pretty sure you know what that one is.
Yeah.
All right. So,
kapow.
On December 31st, 2018, Tiffany Haddish did a show in Miami where she was supposed to be doing a stand-up act like many comedians do, where they ring in the new year with the...
that's a yearly thing.
Yeah, where they with the patrons or whatever. Unfortunately, many people took to Twitter to let folks know that the show was just terrible, where people just actually walked out and she was being recorded and basically just bombed that entire show.
I wouldn't say bomb. She was drunk.
Well,
that's not bombing.
Okay.
Bombing is when you're up there, you're telling bad jokes.
And the jokes aren't working.
Well, apparently she was. At first, she forgot the material.
Yeah.
Then she was like, she was
jokes
tired.
mixed up.
Yeah, she was getting the jokes mixed up.
She was doing punchlines for other setups.
It was just all around bad.
Yeah, and that was it, because I remember I heard about the bombing and I was like, well, that's not. She like every comedian.
Every
has,
single
like, a bad
comedian,
show,
everyone.
I didn't
the greatest
know it was to that extent. Like forgetting your jokes, you showing up
So it was
clearly
like
intoxicated.
when Mariah Carey was on the stage for last New Year's and the song she
when she was off on
2017. Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so
like you
same
can't.
concept.
I don't know what happened the night before, but you gotta know that you cannot show up to your gig.
I don't know what happened 3
You
hours
can't show
prior.
up to you can't show up to your gig.
She was on Instagram the night of, being very hype. Y'all come out to my show and everything like that.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You gotta be responsible.
What was that, Jules?
Yeah, it sounded like she was definitely drunk. Like if you get drunk during the show, don't be drunk before you start.
Don't come out drunk.
Like let's let you and the crowd get drunk together, and by the end, everybody just wasted.
And
that's a great time.
You
can't just.
I know.
He drinks during the show.
Yeah, but he's not having like a stand up. That's like his talk show. It's different.
No. Corey Holcomb, he drinks while
all of the comedians will have like something on there.
Yeah.
But she showed up to the show drunk, and then she still had drinks on the stage.
Yeah. So she was
like
doing
she took
demos.
the bottle to the head.
But I think at that point, people were saying it was probably because she was just bombing so hard. I was like, I don't know. Watching some of that video, she just looked like she was tore up before she got there.
Yeah, it looked like she wasn't. It looked like she partied the night before and did not prepare herself for like she thought she could just show up and just be herself.
Well, and that's why I was thinking. That's why I brought up the Instagram, because previously when she was on there, she looked horrible, and this was like 8:00 in the morning on December 31st at that time, and I was like, okay, you gonna do a show tonight?
Yeah, you got to be more responsible than that. Like I understand you get to a certain level, like you got to be even under even more scrutiny. So you gotta be more responsible. And she doesn't have people have their circles around. She doesn't have the best circle around her.
Okay,
like that's one of the other problems. Like your circle around you is what keeps you out of a lot of trouble.
Brown circle.
Yeah, she does not have a good circle around her.
Okay, that actually brings me to the topic. So this show is actually going to have just a sort of a topic. One person, one of our commenters or listeners, listeners sent in an email. Yeah,
commenters.
Yeah. She sent in an email and she posed a question, and I just wanted to read it to you guys. So, hey guys, first time commenter. I found you guys listening to Life is P and I'm hooked. I do have one comment though. I love that all you are friends. That is very much evident. I have heard you guys mention a few times when speaking on headlines, where were blank friends? I think because you guys have such a great rapport and bond that seems to be rooted in love, respect, and admiration that you're not aware of how rare that is. Many people have very shallow friendships. So since I am new, and yes, I'm going through past episodes of you guys catching up, but what makes you guys friends? What has created and maintained the bond that you all share? Again, love the show. And my last comment, sometimes the history you guys have is not always easily understood. just food for thought.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before.
Thank you, Sharita.
That is a good
Yes, that is a good
something that I never really think about too. Like that not everybody has the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody has the same environment, and we tend to probably project our own onto others.
Yeah,
thinking that it's normal. Like this is what
we used
this
to.
is normal for us,
but it may not be normal for other people.
So that's why I brought it up about Tiffany Haddish. You were saying she doesn't have the best circle, and I'm wondering, like, what were they saying to her to hype her up? Was it kind of like what like Taz was saying, like the Chris Brown thing?
Yeah, she has that circle to where, like, hey, y'all, I got a show tomorrow. I don't think I should be doing it. Take another shot.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, she has that kind of circle. That's not. I understand everybody's not gonna have LeBron James circle one completely. He completely like nobody can convince me anything.
Say, if it ain't free, it ain't me.
Yeah. even though her circle, like,
you still gotta
be an individual. You know what I mean? Be your own person. Like to say, okay, nah, I've had enough. I have a show tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You know, even though they like, take this other shot. I'm gonna pour it for you. Okay, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess she doesn't have that type of. Well, I'm not gonna say she doesn't have it. She may have just made a mistake this time.
Yeah.
It was definitely a mistake. She
owned up.
Didn't know her limit.
Yeah.
The limit got crossed.
Yeah.
But I mean, to play devil's advocate though, I mean, her friends didn't have the best judgment if they let her do that. But her friends were probably the same friends that would encourage her and say, "Hey, you know, you're gonna be fine." Blah 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 blah. So it's like, you know, are we exactly? So is it like? I mean, are we really in a position to say that they were being bad friends?
I mean,
they were using bad judgment.
Was real.
Yeah,
I mean, the
bad
turn
judgment.
was real.
If this was our circle, say it was like went on stage and I saw him terrible because he did the night before. I would feel bad as a friend. I would feel bad. Like I shouldn't have let it do that.
Yeah, I think it's a level of responsibility and maturity though, as opposed to quality of friendship.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, they're probably good friends. They probably ain't too mature though.
Yeah.
You know, so.
It's not the best circle for you to have for your particular, like your spotlight.
Okay, well, let me pose this to you. If someone was saying, you know, everyone keeps saying that The Simpsons tell the future, did Cat Williams predict the future for her? Because Cat Williams was like, have you ever heard one of her jokes? Have you ever heard, like, stand-up? And she has comedy specials, but they're far and few between. I really don't know her act or any of her jokks, I don't know if she was even ready for this type of set.
I watched
one, but it didn't stick with me. Like, you know how you watch Kevin Hart,
it was funny, but
something sticks with you.
Some people are, to me, they're funny as improvisers, as like character. You have character comedians and you have stand-up comedians. I feel like she is good enough to be a stand-up comedian, but I think what makes her best is her improvisation. Like, you see her interviews, she's funny in interviews, and she's one of them people that you hang out with that's just naturally funny. That's a lot different from a stand-up where you literally have a time frame. You have to time your jokes. The delivery has to be perfect, and that takes a lot of structure. And it's no shot at her really, but she's openly admitted that she grew up illiterate. Right? She's not that much of a good reader or whatever. Maybe that has something to do with it too. But she's been doing comedy a long time. She's actually been doing it since she was a teenager, and she was like literally in the Comedy Store at like 14, 15. So she knows how to do it. I honestly, I don't agree with like people using this instance as a shot at her career. Like, she shouldn't be doing it, because I remember Chappelle talked about when he bombed in I forgot it was some he got booed off stage, and people always wonder what happened during that show, and it turns out he was high as hell, and he bombed because he was so high. He's one of the greatest comedians ever, so it's unfair to be like, oh well, Tiffany shouldn't be doing this because of that, when one of the greats of all time pretty much did almost the same thing, just a different type.
And I'm sure he's not the only one. Like,
I think the difference is though that with Tiffany Haddish, I feel like she has to know that perception of her is out there, so she can't necessarily afford a situation like that, where with Dave Chappelle, because he's so legendary, he went and saw him bomb. That would actually be like I saw Chappelle and he fucking sucked.
Yeah.
It was
like,
amazing.
how cool is that? Like, you saw something that
Chappelle was terrible, but I won't. That's a totally different situation.
And plus she's just now getting her star power. It's one thing if she had already been a star for a long time and then bombed, then you'd be like, okay, everybody has a bad day. Yeah. Even Richard, the Sunset Strip one, the one that we see, the live at Sunset Strip, that's actually the second day. Mm-hmm. The first day he bombed that night, and then he had come back and he did the set the next day, and it's the greatest, probably the greatest stand-up special of all time. So, you know, but he was already the greatest at that point. So it was like, he could afford that. People still trying to, like, you got, just like people with Cat Williams and stuff, she has to prove herself. And so that wasn't a good look, you know, when you're trying to prove yourself and you're giving people ammo, that's not a good thing, you know. But, I mean, I'm not going to hold it against her. I feel like...
So hopefully it's like a wake-up
yeah, I feel like that'll make her...
The next one about to go down.
Maybe she'll, because I know she got one, she said she's getting one for Netflix. Maybe that shit could be, like, amazing, you know? Yeah. So it just...
And she's going to talk about what happened in this one.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
She has to.
Yeah. And I think it'll probably be something where it kind of just gives her a little fuel for the fire, hopefully. I pray that this isn't something that she takes to heart and thinks that she can't be funny or she can't change the narrative and make it something, you know, like, hey, yeah, I bombed and I'm here, still standing type thing. Right. Because she can come off the dome with a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. I just think in this instance, I think she's a funny person. I think what Mark was saying, I don't know if she's a stand-up comedian.
Right, like Will Smith's funny. I don't want to see him up there doing stand-up. Like, it's fine for you to just
Will
do
Ferrell, certain people are naturally funny people.
Yeah, it's like, I'm fine with you just doing movies. Do you want to risk your career? Like, if you go up there and you suck, and you're not very good, like, say she bounces back, she's better, but she's still not up to the potential that you used to seeing from just her movie. Yeah. And, like, that will hurt her movie career if she's not as good.
Because, I like Mike Epps in movies. I think he's funny in movies.
Yes, he's not good at
But his stand-up, he really just the nigga in the barbershop.
That was the first person I think about. Like, I'm like,
that's what he is. He's not not like a
I got two uncles just like you.
I'm laughing.
Like, it's funny. I mean, I'd like to hang around.
But you're not gonna remember any of Mike Epps' stand-up jokes, but you remember him from his movies and stuff. You know, the stuff his character work.
I feel like if she does end up, you're hard on trying to prove herself.
Yeah, which she should be.
But that's
she be trying too hard.
It's gonna be trying too hard. It's not.
But she has to know that balance.
Well, that's when we find out if she's like, we find out her real character. Right. Yeah. She's gonna be like that person that we think she is, or she's gonna be Ronda Rousey.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh, that's wow.
I knew he was gonna say. I knew it was coming.
Everybody who knows me, I was a big fan of Ronda Rousey until she did the shit she didn't want to get back.
Yeah.
And maybe like in a lot of comedians, they deal with really dark stuff, and they end up putting it in their stand-ups, and it ends up being a big thing. You know, I feel like that might be a great thing too, because that's what Chappelle did. Chappelle in his stand-up talked about how he bombed, and he explained how high he was and how bad it was, and it's funny when you see that, and it kind of, you see them humble also. Like I think Kevin Hart's next special is gonna be his greatest special, because he's gonna have to talk about getting caught cheating. He's gonna have to talk about the stuff with the gay community, all that stuff, all the bad stuff that's happening to him. He can turn that into jokes. Richard Pryor set himself on fire. Because smoking crack or whatever, and so I feel like that stand up ended up being his greatest stand up. So Tiffany would be fine. I don't think it's just. I think she messed up, and
I hate you. But
McKenna did an pretty job.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, he's been very good at that. From
except
a
for
child.
That damn hair. What the hell was that?
With your hair.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it?
Every
the Masked Singer.
He's on
the show. The Masked Singer. He's like, what is it?
Oh yeah.
It's on
pretty
Fox.
Much the Ryan Seacrest of that show.
He's a host of that show.
So it's Masked Singer's on Fox, and
comes on Wednesday.
It's kind of like a cross between Dancing with the Stars and The Voice.
But it's people that are already famous. Yeah. And you gotta
figure out if you know who they are based on
their voice.
Yeah.
But Marco brought up Kevin Hart, and that was another thing. So he has his controversy that he's going through, and if you don't know, I don't know where you've been, because this is just it seems strange. So
he was Ellen out. He got
Ellen. Well, we're gonna get to that.
Didn't work at all.
So he got chosen to host the Oscars. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's good." I, in the beginning, thought this was a great choice. I was like, "Okay, well, I might tune into the Oscars." At that point, I think it was like the next day or something like that. Tweets,
blogs, and
they brought up his old tweets of, and this was actually from a joke from one of his stand-ups, and I think it was seriously funny.
They showed the clip of the stand-up too, which I remember the joke after watching it.
Yeah, where it was homophobic tweets and the joke as well. And Kevin Hart said he had actually apologized and addressed this previously, and that he wouldn't, talk about it or deal with it anymore. It became like a whole big thing, and then next thing you know, he's stepping down saying that he wasn't going to apologize again or something. I really couldn't.
So this is what he did. He basically was saying I don't have to apologize over and over for something that I've already apologized several times for. I've already changed that behavior. I'm not that same person.
Yeah.
And that, of course, the Oscars wanted him to step down or apologize. And he was saying, I'll do this. I'll apologize and step down anyway. Because now, if I'm the host, the Oscars is going to be all about me being up there.
Yeah.
Instead of the people who are winning.
He didn't want to be a distraction to all of that.
Okay.
But it's kind of messed up because it's hard to. I wish he could just come out and ask, like, what do you want? Because there are people mad now that he stepped down. They wanted him to keep the job and then address it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because.
But I'm like, you were mad that he got the job, but then when he turned the job down, now you mad that he turned it down.
Yes, that's what I didn't understand.
But like, what they want him to do, basically, because I was watching Don Lemon, this is basically, it's about black gay dudes.
Well,
they're the ones who mad.
Explain who Don Lemon is.
Don Lemon is one of the head guys on CNN, and he's a black gay man. And they're the ones that's mad about this. It's not like it's the other people. Like, they're specifically black gay dudes. No, because they straight up said it. No.
Yeah.
You not like it's the other people. No. When you mean the other people, like, they think it like it's
it's not at all.
They specifically, they're the ones who pulled up the tweets.
Not 100%.
There's
only the black gay dudes.
They the ones who because for a long time, and because I was watching Don Lemon, he said for a long time in their community, they felt this way about him, but everybody else was cool with it. So it's just like, so when he got the Oscar job, I guess they felt like, okay, that's some bullshit. So we gonna
not
expose.
In the new year.
We gonna expose, but it was like exposed. But I'm like, really, like we've already seen those jokes before. But to them, they never got over it, and they wanted to make sure that they wanted him to be like, oh man, I'm so sorry, over and over and over again, and that's what Kevin does. He's like, dude, you want me to keep over and over again, like keep apologizing.
Not doing it.
But the problem is there a certain point where you just literally gonna let him live, or he constantly is gonna have to do this, like everywhere he goes, like he goes to promote any kind of movie. First off, I want to say what exactly? I wish they could come out, like whoever it is. That's
the funny thing is that the Oscars needed him more than he needed them, because really people used to
He's fine.
You used to
He's
want
okay.
to be on the Oscars.
He got plenty of money.
A celebrity, because it would give you the exposure. But now, like big celebrities who already have the exposure, they don't want to do that shit because one, they don't pay. They don't pay them shit. I remember Jimmy Kimmel said he got like it was like a few hundred, like maybe 1,000, like something ridiculous. Like it's not worth the time and effort.
And the crowd is not that well.
When you already have like the exposure, so like the Oscars at this point, they're gonna have to get like up and coming people who don't have the exposure, who don't care about like the shit money that they're paying you.
Tiffany Haddish.
Well, no, she has money. That's what I'm saying. Like, she even wouldn't do it. Like, there'd be no point for her to do it.
Well, also because in the past, no matter what, the host was always scrutinized to a point where if it wasn't like Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal, Chris Rock, or somebody, like, everybody was scrutinized to the point that,
didn't want it.
Nobody wanted to do it. You don't want that type of...
And also, it's not like a regular crowd. Like, when you go to a stand-up crowd, you're paying to see them tell jokes.
Yes.
These people, these are like the rich, snooty, bougie people. Yeah. And you making fun of them. Are they going to really laugh really hard? Or are they going to be like, ha, 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 ha.
Hey, Jay.
You're a comedian. Would you rather have a crowd that paid to see you tell jokes, or a crowd that just happens to be there that you're hosting? So I wouldn't want that job anyway.
Yeah. They're going to have to start paying people like this. If they want to start getting, because they're not going to get any big celebrities.
Oh, not after this. Not after this.
So they're going to actually have to start doing something on their part.
That's been a red line drawn now.
We're the Oscars. People who want to go and
but there's a red line drawn. fine now. Like whoever they pick, they have to. They better scrub their entire
social media history.
Because anybody now who has any type of offensive things towards anybody, it's going to be brought up. Because if they did it to Kevin Hart, they have to do it for everyone else. And if you're a comedian, you know you said some dark shit that people are going to be offended of. So like they might as well just be like, all right, let's get
Paul Mooney.
Oh no.
Boy,
he would never.
Paul Mooney.
They never. I guarantee you, the Oscars never even heard of Paul Mooney.
Whatever.
And if they ever did,
No. They've definitely heard of Paul Mooney. And he is definitely not going to be the host of no goddamn Oscar.
It would take them 10 seconds to find something offensive.
He gonna show like, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing at this goddamn
But they got their white people.
All right, yeah, that's the first time it's like, all right.
Well, the niggas are more niggas over there.
He's always talked about the
Oscars.
Yeah. He was. I will never forget him talking about when 3 6 Mafia won for "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp." He said them white people in their gowns and stuff, and they said it's hard out here for a pimp. I must have died laughing because he loves that.
It's no comedic like Ellen. They're gonna have to bring Ellen back because Ellen is probably.
Oh, she's not gonna do it now because
Ellen ain't gonna do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna get any big celebrities to do it. There's
Not
no
anymore.
reason they would want to do it.
Not anymore.
What they should do is just have Will Ferrell and like one of them people, like one of the actors, the funny actors, let them host it. But not stand-ups, because stand-ups are going to be like.
That's the problem.
I don't think Will Ferrell would do it.
Yeah, I don't think Will Ferrell will do it either. They tried that previously and it bombed. Because the person was so scrutinized. Oh, yeah, they didn't do this, or they didn't act like a host here. They were focusing on this. So that's why no one's wanting to do this now. Everyone kept saying this is a job nobody wanted. Yeah. Kevin Hart was like, "Fuck it, I'll do it."
No. This is what they need to find: a comedian who's a woman, person of color, gay, trans, and handicapped.
And who is that?
No. Because that's literally the only person that they wouldn't be
list
having.
is getting smaller and smaller.
Like literally, like you gonna have to find some handicapped and speak a different language. Like you gonna have to find
crutches. Look, RuPaul on crutches.
That's the only way.
But wait. Is RuPaul gay though?
He's gay, but he's not trans.
I mean, he's a
he's a man who likes to dress up like a woman. He doesn't say that he is a woman.
Does he date women or does he date men?
He's married, isn't he?
He's married to a man.
Oh, I thought he was married to a woman.
To a man.
Okay,
I
so
thought
he's
he was
gay.
married to a woman too. That's why I asked that.
He's trans, so he don't
Trans. Okay.
Wait, what did it call? Don't they have a name for that one too? Like is that trans?
It's cross-dressing.
No, it's not transvestite. It's transgender.
No. Okay, so what's
transgender mean?
Transvestite used to be
a good word.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's a slur now.
Transvestite is not a good word. Transvestite is not a good word anymore.
Okay, all right.
All of that will be cut.
I know.
There's a glossary now.
There's
a glossary of names.
Transvestite.
So,
look for
trans.
I'm not trying to be offensive. It's so many words. I don't know.
Like I said, it's a glossary now.
Okay, I was previously going to cut the rest of this out into a certain point, but I wanted to leave it in because it is a conversation that I believe should be had for people who are trying to learn, trying to educate themselves, trying to evolve, trying to get to the next level in being a sociable, society, loving, caring person. And again, this is SayWHA Radio. If you don't know, we do say what we feel. It is uncensored, unfiltered for the most part. But I knew that this could ruffle some feathers and cause some people to be a little bit just piss some people off, basically. And that's not what I wanted. That's not where this conversation is coming from. It is generally people trying to understand the language that should be used and how things should be done to making sure that the person that they're speaking to and that anyone that they come across is being respected and feel like they're being heard and seen as a human being that they are. That is it. I just said all that to say to basically inform you that this next portion could piss you off. If so, please send all your comments, questions to any social media outlet at SayWHA Radio is our handle, or info@saywhatradio.com. We are more than happy to talk and debate with you about this and just come to a general consensus on this. Enjoy the rest of the show.
terms. Like it used to be LGBT.
LGBT.
Wait. No. Wait. It is LGBTIQ.
TIQ.
Hold on.
I thought it was TQ.
I never heard that. That's new.
I personally have a dream of hosting the Oscars one day, and I think we need to move on before y'all ruin my chances.
Well, all of this will be cut.
Intersexual.
What is it?
Intra.
I think so. LGBTIQA.
What's the A?
Oh, no, it's non-binary. Correct?
Asexual.
I think it is asexual.
Asexual, but that's not a. That just means you don't have sex.
Yeah, but they want to be seen too now.
I mean, but that's
Because
not really
that's
not a that's not a sexual.
It is a sexual orientation.
It's not.
Well, how is that
no, there's no orientation there. You don't do anything.
They want to be seen too. I have no feeling for none of this.
So what if you got a fetish for something? Is that going to be a new one too? Like,
that's like celibate, just not doing it for religion, doing it for
Taz's right. Is intersex and
what is
asexual.
So what is intersex?
What is it? I think intersex means like you like dudes, women, and trans.
Okay.
No. You wanna know why it's not bisexual? Because trans. See, you like a man, right? You like a woman, and then a trans.
Pansexual. But wait, no.
There's another one? Pansexual?
Yes, Janelle Monáe is pansexual.
That means that she likes men.
Yeah,
she likes women.
She likes anything.
And if a trans man or a trans woman wanted to date her, she likes it.
She likes
a woman or a man. You're just bisexual.
That's what I was gonna say.
That
so
is
like,
confusing
because when you have the trans people,
you're supposed to refer to them
always,
as what they
want
want,
to be referred
right?
as. Yeah,
right.
If it was a man, you were born a man, but you are now a woman.
Yeah.
You want to be identified as a woman.
Okay,
but
just put that on your chest and let's
No.
roll.
But that's my point. That's where I'm going though.
That
so
should be separate from.
At the end of the day, no matter
woman.
what you were born as, you identify as man or woman.
Yeah.
So it's still bi.
Yeah.
But they're
no.
You didn't tell them that.
But they're the ones that say I want to be identified as a woman.
You missed something because you said you either as a man or a woman. No, not with those non-binary.
But that's not included in that one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that was before it. But that was
the non-binary, they just human. That's all they are.
I feel like we're doing algebra trying to
intersex.
Yo, this shit is like you need a fucking glossary.
The women or the men who have the female characteristics or whatever, but for some reason they have like male reproductive systems or something like that. Well, that again is a bad word. It's called intersex. It's called intersex now.
But isn't hermaphrodite the scientific term?
I thought that was a medical term.
I'm not a homo sapien. How dare you call me that?
It's called intersex now.
I'm a Neanderthal.
That's the scientific name. I'm
Homo erectus.
It's called intersex now. Well, it's just kind of like calling us Negroids. So
that was never a medical term. That was derogatory from the start.
Or mongoloid. That's
mongoloid stuff. Like to them, that was considered to not necessarily offensive, but it was a medical term for them.
That's why it's best to just refer somebody by their name.
Any of this.
So
you talk about someone specifically by their name.
My thing is,
but that's the thing.
You can't
that is
identify
one thing
with this person. So, but it's offensive. I say, what do you identify yourself?
It's ma'am. Ma'am.
It sounded just like that. And that's fine. But don't get mad at me.
That's
for
why.
wanting to know.
That's why I said call them by their name. Don't do ma'am. Don't do sir. Don't do he. Don't do she. Call them by their name. You.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
In the blue shirt.
You. Person. Human.
Nope.
Human. If you get mad at me calling you human, then fuck it.
Please help me.
You know what, Mark?
Wait.
Because I identify as we, and you should call me y'all, nigga.
Go Texas.
But no, that is one thing that I want this year to be able to have somebody on is of the LGBT community to actually explain it, because we will never be able to understand it.
I can understand the LB, the G,
it's just
the T.
That's what I'm saying.
It's them extras.
Yeah.
The I, the A, the T, the Q, the R, the
Q is queer.
The I, the L.
But what is queer? Because I thought queer.
I
thought that was a derogatory.
No. That's what they call themselves.
That's what they call themselves.
adopted queer.
Queer is basically someone who's not normal, like in the normal sense. So like that's weird. What the word actually means. Someone weird. Like the original word for queer, it meant weird person. Like back in the hundreds, 1800s, whatever. That's what they call it. But they started adopting it as basically somebody who you don't consider it to be different.
Oh, okay.
So when you see a dude walking down the street with pink hair and a skirt with a Texans jersey on, you'd be like, "That's a queer dude."
Yeah,
he's not. He might be straight.
Yeah,
he might be straight, but he got a pink hair with a Texas jersey and a skirt on.
And
so that's weird.
Weird just doesn't do it. You
so
can't just say weird.
He'd be like, I'm Scottish.
The drag queen I used to know.
I'm Scottish. What?
He would be considered to be queer because he was straight, but he did like to dress as a woman.
Like, you know who's queer? The rapper. What's the rapper? Young Thug. Young Thug is queer because he wears dresses and he'll have a machine gun in his hand with a dress on. I'm like, that nigga is queer. That's queer because I don't know what his sexuality is, but he's not a normal human being. Like he literally
he's
is different.
No,
that's not metrosexual.
No, metrosexual is totally
a guy who grooms himself nice and stuff.
Right? No,
he ain't groomed well.
Young Thug wears dresses while toting AKs in his hand.
Yeah.
Metrosexual. He said himself. He shops in the female in the women's department
because they fit better.
Because they fit him better. They fit his.
Well, but again, that's what he's saying. That would necessarily be queer. He's don't fall into what they would say a man, quote unquote, would be.
Yeah, like a woman who dresses like who will wear like a suit jacket and tie. She may have on like
pencil skirt,
a skirt on. You'd be like, wait, what the fuck? Like I don't know. That would be queer because it's like she's dressing however she wants to dress. It's not specifically what a man or a woman would dress.
But then that's still not a sexual person.
No, it's not.
No,
that's that's like a behavior thing.
Yeah,
there's crossover too.
Okay.
That's because there's people that might be straight, but there might be people that gay to do the exact same thing. So I guess because it's crossover with that, then they consider them a part of that group.
You want to dress? What you that?
Yeah,
people go to talk about why your friend like. Don't worry about my friend. That's how she dressed. That's how he dressed. He fine.
Yeah.
But it all kind of just boils down that they just want to actually belong necessarily. They don't feel like they belong. Again, it'll just be something that will be a little bit out of my realm with the I, the A, all the rest of the.
That's what I'm
saying.
Stuff. Just don't bring it up.
I'm just gonna say that's always gonna kind of confuse me. I really
it confuses me. My thing is just don't discriminate against anybody.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I don't care if you got a letter or not. Like I don't have a letter in that mix, but don't discriminate against me.
If somebody is different from you,
you got a letter to white America.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if somebody's different from you, just let them be different from you. Like that ain't got shit to do with you.
Yeah.
I can't keep track of all the different slicing and dicing of how everybody falls. But just period, as people,
if
don't
you
discriminate.
happy, be happy. That's it.
And that's the only thing that I'll mention is that don't get upset at me. Like you want me to give you your liberties, your freedom. Like you can do what you want, think what you want, but don't get upset at me if I do the same thing.
Right.
Like if I think that's weird. Like that's not fair to me to be like, how do you think I'm weird? That's my opinion.
But
like,
you know what? I think there are people. Most people have what you have. What you're saying. Most people are okay with that. It's just the small group of people that overreact to everything. So like most people can understand. Like most queer people probably can understand that. Okay, people gonna look at me weird, and they live with it every day. It's the select few that want to tell everybody how evil they are for that. It's the same thing like how we black folks, right? We deal with shit every day. We deal with. All right, we are of African descent, right? We deal with shit every day, right? But it's some people they react to the smallest shit and they, hiding, like every small little thing. That it's the same thing with them. They got people that react to the smallest shit. Like, come on, dude, you really gonna be pissed off at that? Really? Today? You like, really? You can't let that slide. Like it's so that's how I feel like they like I bet you most gay dudes probably didn't even give a shit about what Kevin Hart said. Yeah. But when they put that shit on, those select few people put that shit on the computer on the social media, then all of a sudden those small group of people that I'm talking about, they had a big voice because what stuff gets viral or whatever. Because I was like, I knew them jokes a long time ago. Yeah. Like if it really was like that big, he would have never gotten big. never got. Like, you could tell it had to be a small group of people who really was upset about that. Because you know damn well he wouldn't have become the biggest comedian in the world if it was a large enough group of people that was upset.
Yeah. I thought.
But no.
Cat Williams. I thought Cat Williams.
Oh Lord.
In his mind,
yeah.
But
I have sold way more albums, way more of these than anybody else. I am the number one selling comedian of all time.
What did he say? How many did he sell? What was it, like 100 million?
Yeah, they were like, yo, Beyonce hadn't sold that many.
Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about.
But Kevin Hart, I think he came from a good place in saying, this is something I did. I'm not proud of it. I have changed. I've
and
done
I apologize when I did it.
But that's not enough.
We asked for other people to say the same thing about like Louis K. We want Bill Cosby to pay for his stuff and things like that.
R.Kelly ain't apologized yet.
I was just
he ain't even admit
it. But I think when Kevin Hart actually went on Ellen actually to promote his new movie with Bryan Cranston, which I actually wanted to see because it was
it's a serious movie.
Yeah,
right?
it looked like it would be interesting. It's a remake of a French movie, but instead of actually
remake nowadays,
everything's a remake.
Nothing is a remake.
But instead of actually talking about the movie very much, he basically just talked about all this controversy.
Ellen is his gay. You know how you have I got a black friend. Ellen was his gay friend. But the problem is Ellen she's a white woman, and so like all the people, like I said, it was black gay dudes. They the ones that started all this
on
shit.
her.
They really, were like, who the fuck is she? Like she can't speak for us. I'm like, damn.
Why did you change your voice?
Hey, I'm sorry.
She can't speak for us.
But yeah, that's like, why would you go to Ellen? Like, Ellen is like completely the opposite of them, though.
Who else you gonna go to?
I guess he don't have no other black gay friends.
But I'm saying, where are the black gay celebrities that can get his word out?
I don't know, man.
He gonna go to?
He must have pissed them all off.
He's not a celebrity.
But where they at though? Tell me which ones.
Who's
out?
He need to call RuPaul up. Call RuPaul up.
RuPaul.
Hey, Ru.
Right. That's not gonna reach everybody. He gotta reach everybody.
He probably should have went on Don Lemon's show first.
Yeah.
Because Don Lemon is on CNN. He's an interviewer, and he would have, that would have, to me, would have been better than going to Ellen, which was like,
he probably was gonna go, and Don was like,
well, Don actually said he wants him on the show.
Oh, okay.
He actually pleaded to him. He's like, I really want, because the way Don is saying, make it seem like I don't hate you. I want you to actually succeed. You got to explain yourself, and I think that's why
I need to explain myself.
That's what Kevin's. He's
already explained himself.
That's what Kevin's beef is. He's like, I've said it before.
One point, a lot of people are saying, Kevin has apologized for this, and then there are other people saying, what apology? I've never actually seen apology. That's the problem.
Was it on video?
Because it's not in their face.
And that's the thing.
When he specifically apologized.
What I think most people are referring to is there was nothing recently, because unfortunately this was like 10 years ago, and I think it was like a couple years, or even during that time when Seriously Funny came out, that he actually did apologize for it.
But
so
it never was video.
That part of
it. That's what they had to pull up. They had to pull up the old.
You can't pull it up. You have to put something on TV. The R.Kelly documentary. You have to put something on TV, and you have to tell people shit that they already knew and show it to them in their face. Otherwise, it didn't happen.
So I think
it didn't happen.
Yeah. I don't know how this is gonna go.
He need to make a new movie with a up and coming black gay comedian and be.
No, that ain't gonna work. Because then they're gonna say, "Oh, you just doing that because we gave you a hard time."
Yeah, you can't make money off of this, Mark.
You're right.
You can't make money off of this.
Humble himself. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I don't know. I just don't know what he really can do.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because I feel like they hadn't properly explained what they want from him. Because like I said, you can't get mad when he gets a job, and then when he turns down the job, you get mad that he turned down the job.
Well, most of the things that I saw when I was looking at being mad is like, well, he didn't use this as a platform to be able to talk about these types of incidents. But I'm still confused on that, because it's just like he apologized for it, says I don't have that type of rhetoric within me anymore, and I don't feel like that anymore. anymore. But they're like, well, how do we know that you've learned that? So I'm like, how do you express that?
So
what do you do?
I think what it sounds like from what you just described that they want is not just for him to apologize or feel regret for it, but they want him to actually be an advocate for their
I heard
cause.
the term ally. They said they want him to be an ally.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
It's like, if you want to prove it to us, you need to go try to change the rest of the world's opinions about us.
Because he's so popular,
you need to speak on our behalf.
him to be one of their, like, he can be
so it comes out as fake hatred towards him because they just want him to do it.
It's almost like, you know how you have them, you know what I'm thinking? You know what I think it's like? It's kind of like those, they want him, this is what they want him to be. You know how do you have them ex-Klansmen that end up becoming like advocates for black
minorities
people? Because that's what they want him to be. They want him to be like, look, they want him to be,
one day.
yeah, they want him to be the symbol of a homophobe that can change their ways.
But he is basically doing that now because
he ain't doing enough to them because they trying to cancel him.
It'll never be enough.
When you do a little bit, they always want.
Can't please her.
But I found it funny the people that came to his defense. Nobody really said anything about that. Like Nick Cannon was very adamant about putting out tweets from the white comedians who have done or said stuff like this. And he's like, I don't remember y'all saying.
But that was the problem because
about this.
The black folk probably didn't care about them.
Yeah,
like,
and they
Kevin
were like,
Hart is one of our own. You know, like you bringing up these white folks, like but we don't care about them. We care about our own. That's to them. Yeah. So like that it's kind of like what they're doing with R.Kelly right now. They like, y'all didn't say this about you. Y'all didn't say this about. And I'm like, but R.Kelly was doing this to black women. So let's call him out for his shit. Like white
just because they all right with it. Just because the white folks all right.
Yeah,
with it.
we shouldn't be all right with what he's doing to our own women. You know what I'm saying? And I bet you if Hugh Hefner was doing that to black women, we'd be mad, right?
Okay, since we keep bringing up, we
gotta talk about this.
R.Kelly.
We gotta talk about R.Kelly.
Lifetime television. This conversation is getting good, isn't it? Won't you go ahead and tune in next week for the continuation on this episode? And as always, please continue to follow us on social media. SayWHA Radio for all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. Again, thank you for tuning in. As always, the biggest compliment you guys can give us is to really, really, really share, like, subscribe, review the show on iTunes, Google Play, thumbs up on Facebook, everything. Tell your family, friends about the show. We may not be everybody's cup of tea, but hey, let them listen and we can come to an agreement. You know, you like this, don't like this, but that was funny. Yes, it was. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I'm dying in this fucking fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother. The fuck is that?
Say what again?